The transformation matrix. There are 3 layers to this matrix. And this is the main reason why people fail. The main reason why people commit their sincere hopes, dreams, desires, ambitions into becoming healthier. Usually that's the surface level thing. i.e., they go do a boot camp, they go do a diet because they actually do care about themselves. Would you agree? Yeah, because people care, right? You guys all care about your own health. That's why you're here. And part of the strategy that you will use is to go and do a workout program or go and embark on a healthy eating plan. This is the execution. This is the top level. This is what everyone else is teaching you about. This is what I've been teaching you about for 10 years. This is the surface, the tip of the iceberg. It goes deep. There we go. But we're going to look at this first. So the 3 components that make up the top level are exercise, nutrition, and communication. Make sense? The second layer, the thing that you need underneath the thing that you need, is time. Time is the one thing that we all share equally, and none of us can change, and none of us can alter, none of us can increase or decrease. It is the currency of life, ladies and gents. Time. As I said earlier, everyone's busy. That's just time management. And so that's what we get into here. In order for the top stuff to happen, you have to plan your source activity. Your source activity are the workouts and the food that you eat. Quite simple. But you have to plan that, or you could do the wrong thing. You could miss the workout altogether. You could eat something you think is good. You could eat something that you don't realize has way more calories than it projects visually. You could do Weight Watchers. Sorry. So you have to plan your source activity. Second thing you've got to do is prioritize. Again, I've seen people fall off here. They understand they've got to exercise, they understand they've got to eat right, they understand they have to manage their social circles. They plan their source activity. I'm going to go to the gym on these days, I'm going to go food shopping on these days, I've got a party to go to next week, I'm not going to drink, I'm going to drive. This is planning your source activity. But then, 2, 3, usually 3 weeks into the program or the plan, it all goes to shit. Because something else happens. Real life gets in the way, ladies and gents. Something inconvenient comes up. You might get a cold. You might have kids, they might get cold. You might have to miss a workout. You might have to fill in for childcare. This is all real stuff that happens, isn't it? But the priority has to be to do this. If it isn't, in some way, then how can you expect to achieve a result? Make sense? Hand up. Great. And then third, in the section of time, you have to have a plan B. The prime example of this is my wife Kelly, just after she had our baby. She's going through this process where she's chasing her ass again to get back into shape. Her confidence relies on it. Her whole demeanour relies on it. Her business relies on it. So not only is it the same pressure that every woman goes through, but it also filters off into career. And in a way, it filters off into relationships. Right? Because this is what we do together. So she's struggling to get it done. There was one night where she was in the conservatory and she was skipping and she's hitting the ceiling. Right? And I'm in the kitchen, I can hear it. And then she's on the Swiss ball. She's doing Swiss ball roll-ins and she's doing press-ups. And I go in there and there's like sweat all over the floor and she's got her iPhone playing music. And I'm just like, massive respect to you for doing that. That's the plan B. I was going to go to the gym, but something happened and I can't now, physically, so what am I going to do instead? Now, too often people throw a towel in at that point and go, well, I couldn't do it because of that thing. Oh, I couldn't do it because of them, or my lift, or whatever. What other stuff happened? If you want to do it enough, you need a plan. want to do it enough, you'll do it, but that's just too easy to say, ladies and gents. If you want it enough, you'll make it happen. Goodbye, that's it for today. Strategy. Have a plan B. I literally mean write it out. Because otherwise you don't know what to do, you need a plan. You need a plan B. And then the deepest level, but the one that holds the whole thing up, is desire. It's the desire. Now we can have the desire. Now you've all got the desire because you're here and you're sat here now listening to this, and it's a transformation workshop. If you didn't have the desire to be in this place, you would not be here on a Saturday afternoon. So again, I'm grateful for the fact that you're here, and my part to play in this now is to change the game for you and make you think differently about stuff. This is the whole point of today's workshop, this bottom section here. If you haven't got a strategy for this, if you haven't tuned in to the right frequency, then everything else above it falls down. Everything else falls down. Let me explain. The first thing that you have to do is remove emotional blockages. We're all emotional. And it's a confidence thing. And it shows up in men, it shows up in women, it just shows up differently. So the emotional blockages are usually confidence, but they could also be, you could have the confidence, it could be something that you experience after a few weeks of doing it. It could be something that you have which opposes change. It could be something like, what will my mates think if I keep trotting off to the gym? They'll think, who the hell do you think you are? Is what they'll think. What? Like, we're going to the pub once. I go to the gym. What? Socially, that's going to throw me out, and emotionally, I don't want to lose out on that. So that could be something that you're just opposing to change. Or it could be something as deep as this. If I change my body, how will my wife respond to that? Because before, when I felt good about myself, and I started to be me, she thought I was flirting with everyone. Because she has something there, right? So there's many reasons, and some of these are real deep, subconscious, real deep, from a child, or something that's happened to you in the past that's an emotional thing that you've experienced that's allowed you to build this emotional blockage. The next thing, once the blockage is out of the way, is you replace it with self-belief. And you install that belief that you can do it. And you remind yourself of all the benefits that are going to come when you do it. And this is a process that I work with my clients that can take a few weeks. But once it happens, it's like they shoot up like a firework. And it really is a powerful thing, because at that point nothing can stop them, because they have that self-belief. So the self-belief has to be there in order to get the priorities right, to have the plan B, to have the audacity to say to your wife or husband, darling, I haven't been able to go to the gym today, so clear the dining room, because I'm going to be doing my workout in there tonight. And to be able to do that without disrupting the chemistry in the relationship too. And then finally, the thing that makes the whole thing happen is creating new habits. I stumbled across something earlier, a few weeks ago, and I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but when you tie up your shoelaces, you have learned how to do that a certain way, since you were like, what, 4? Maybe less. And if you had to now learn how to do your shoelaces up in a different way, think how many times you've done it already. Like billions. If you had to learn how to do your shoelaces up in a different way, how easy would that be? It would be hard, wouldn't it? Jill? Tough. Yeah. Because you've been doing it a certain way. So you have to learn how to bring these new habits in. But creating new habits such as waking up earlier, going to the gym or exercising every day, or doing some kind of activity, bless you. Eating when you go to your mate's house. Eating dinner before you go, because you know that they always like to feed you up. Right? These are habits. These are things you have to do again and again in order to learn how to do it automatically, so that you don't have to think about it and it doesn't take up your mental focus and energy, but in fact you just do it as automatically as doing your shoelaces. You have to learn it. Because I guarantee you, if we went through a new way of doing shoelaces, and we came back in 6 months' time, you've got to nail that. Probably in 3 months, in 12 weeks, I reckon you would have nailed it. right? Because you would have done it enough times. It's about repetition. So that is the matrix, everyone. Execution, time, desire. Hand up if that resonates with you, if that makes sense, if you've learned something already.